Taylor Swift's public feud with the music executives who own her mastered records is boiling over. She said that Scott Borchetta and Scooter Braun are exercising what she calls tyrannical control and won't allow her to perform her old music at the American Music Awards later this month. That's where she will be honored with the Artist of the Decade Award. In a social media post, Swift also said that they refused to allow her old music to be used in a Netflix documentary about her. Swift has said that she plans to re-record copycat versions of her songs next year to regain control, but they are trying to prevent that as well. She says, "The message being sent to me is very clear. Basically, be a good little girl and shut up, or you'll be punished." She's asking fans to help intervene, and she says she is especially asking for help from the Carlyle Group. The Carlyle Group put up money for the sale of her music to those two men. That put some pressure on Rubenstein and others at Carlyle. Get angry Taylor Swift fans pouring in over the switchboards and through the email.
So I don't know how to feel about this.
I remember when it happened, you're very empathetic and you were very sad. You remember you said and I said, you're sad, and you were very sad about the whole situation.
No, so I feel terrible for her.
But she says she never got the opportunity to buy it herself.
Right. So I genuinely feel terrible for her. That I think is a terrible situation, right? At the same time, I recognize that she originally sold the rights to these things, to these people, their contracts.
It was in the contract. She was a lot younger at the time. That's the type of stuff you get rolled when you're younger.
I don't disagree, but then the question is sort of, what are you supposed? How is this all supposed to? What's supposed to happen?
These guys are being like Scooter Braun is particularly being a jerk about it. He is trying to twist the knife when it goes in with this. I mean,
right, but also she's trying to twist the knife on the other end, right?
Sure.
A little bit.
She wanted to buy control of it, and he took. You know, I can imagine as an artist, if the creative one, if you've written something, if you've done something, if you've created it,
you want it to be yours.
You want it to be yours. And by the way, she's not saying I want them to give it to me. She wanted to buy it, and that you know, so to have it to go to somebody who she thinks misled her and did not do right by her in an earlier part of life would be particularly painful.
Why I would have assumed the rational thing to happen right now is if she's threatening, I'm going to go make copycat versions of this.
Right.
And if you think you can do that legally, and I don't know enough about the law around these kinds of songs, you would think that Scooter Braun would say, okay, you know what? Let's have a new conversation.
There's so much bad blood between these two.
Why don't we consider selling this to you at, I don't know if it's at a discount or not at a discount, but
even if you turned a profit on it, that would be the smarter move rather than to let this play out. Look, it doesn't play well any way around, but she's going to be able to garner more fans and more support than he is.
100%.
He's got some other clients who are standing by him, who are saying he's a good guy.
And that's the other question. If you're an artist,
why
you
would
want
you
to
mess
do business with because of what she's saying, if you're an artist, isn't this bad business for Scooter Braun?
He's had some of his other artists that he represents stand by.
So what could Carlyle do? Is it possible Carlyle has any recourse? Let's say they said, you know what, Taylor, you're right, we're going to help you. What could they do?
They could negotiate with him.
They could partner with her.
No, I know, but they've provided some of the money for Scooter.
To buy.
Could they call that?
But they could call Scooter and say, look, we don't want to be in the middle of this. You got to sell this thing.
Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe that's, the question is, does David Rubenstein step up and do that? Does David Rubenstein, is his brand? I mean, this is very interesting when politics, or not politics, get involved, but where business sort of starts to use the pressure of the bully pulpit.
She gets the rights to do this. It's a year too early for her to perform it at the. Something loosens up next year, right? So if she's able to,
and then if
I saw both camps on Twitter. I saw defenders of Taylor. I saw defenders of.
I will admit, I actually read through all this when it first broke because I was interested.
But if she's able to re-record all the songs in a copycat mode, that means it completely devalues what these other folks have.
That might not be
right. But then the question is, if you're then it'll get interesting. If you're a Spotify or an Apple Music, who are you buying from at that point? Meaning, are you buying the copycat song, the new recording?
Right, and risking alienating her and ticking her off for all of.
Or are you buying, by the way, or are you going to tick off Scooter Braun and all of the artists that he represents? This is why it's so interesting and complicated.